Focus bringing you a West African tour. We've got 52, mostly African Americans. It's a collection of folks traveling throughout West Africa. And this is a particular interest for me. Those of you who know me know that I've spent my life, really since college days, studying West African traditional spiritual, cultural, and arts traditions. It's something that fascinates me ever since Dr. Richard King said in college, you want to understand a pre-colonial mindset. When we created civilization, before we were enslaved, study our pre-colonial traditions. And I've been doing that ever since, and I must say it's been very rewarding. And one of the things that is striking is how the songs, we'll call them prayer songs, they're worship songs, traditional call and response, many of the same phrases, melodies, and even the aspects of nature or aspects of God that are being praised in these songs, they are similar. From Brazil to Cuba, Benin, Nigeria, Senegal, they are similar. And one thing that I found very, very, very deep is the fact that the guys, the working class guys, like our drivers, the folks, the under-resourced folks, were more openly practicing and listening to indigenous music. So I want you to hear a taste of what we heard when we went inside the Vodun temple. And it was so amazing to me that I heard phrases, songs, names called that I have learned about in my studies in the United States. And here they are in the living, breathing, practicing of the Vodun tradition inside of Benin, West Africa. We took you inside the Vodun compound, the beautiful orange African garb of the dancers, the women prostrating before their king, the dancers, the male dancers spinning in these skirts that whirled around them as they were in a trance, bringing the spirit into the room, much like we would do in church, in praise, speaking in tongues with the Holy Ghost. All of that was there in its most foundational, simple, indigenous form. I hope you felt it. Thank you for coming with us. We are all over West Africa, Benin, Ghana, Nigeria. Thank you for coming with us. Next, we'll hear some reflections from the travelers, the trailblazers, as they talk about what they've seen, what they've heard, what they've learned, what they're feeling. I hope that you are all the way immersed in this virtual travel to the motherland with KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
What about you? Yeah.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if If your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time. Whenever news breaks, while we're on the air, it's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580. And we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the clean test. Salmon weave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach a lesson on fresh. Your booty past the clean test. Yes, sir. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Hi, Marjorie. How you doing?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
We had a little celebration.
I did.
Celebrating your birthday in Nigeria.
It was a total surprise, and you guys were so generous and lovely and loving.
Who knew 50-some people could keep a secret?
You guys totally did. I did not know it was happening. I didn't know. I was a little suspicious when somebody told me to put on a dress. Like, what for?
Yeah, dress for a meeting. So you're from Chicago, right?
Yes, I am.
And is this your first trip to Africa?
It is.
And so you're starting like in the thick of it. I mean, you started in Nigeria, which is a place, not as many people visit, right? Because
Yes.
a lot of people go to Ghana or they go to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing with it?
I'm doing great with it. So I have friends that I work with who have gone to Nigeria. They told me a lot of cool things about Nigeria. Neighbors who cook Nigerian food, a lot of Nigerian barbecue, and I think that's called suya. And so I was really excited about eating the foods of Nigeria. And I tried to find suya, I couldn't find it. But jollof rice, right? I did find that.
And that egusi stew.
Yes.
What did you think of the food?
Of the stew?
Of the food in
Of
general.
the food?
Yeah.
I think it's spicier. There's a lot more spice going on. I think that it would take a lot of getting used to the okra soup, because that's
slimy. Just say it. It's
yes, it's very slimy. But I love okra.
You
Yeah,
do. I
I
can't
do.
stand okra unless you fry it to death. I don't like it.
Oh no.
And it was really good for you though.
Yeah, I grew up in the South, so we ate okra.
Okay, yeah, city girl here, but you're right. That is it. It's so spicy.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna take my black card. I just was super spicy. I just can't do it. But a lot of people, I want to try everything. I tried everything, and I did find some stuff that I love. What has surprised you so far?
What I think Lagos surprised me. For as much as other people have talked about Lagos, how great a city it is in Nigeria, it was very crowded.
Yeah.
And with that comes a lot of things that I'm not sure that I was accustomed to seeing. So that was a reality for me, a reality check to see that.
I feel like it makes New York traffic look tame.
Oh my goodness, yes. And, we had to do a lot of driving around potholes, and we ran into that political rally yesterday. And so I was really kind of surprised at that, how many people were there for that. I didn't really understand what it was, but
Yeah, I'm still working on that myself. And those potholes are almost like small lakes.
Yes.
You know, they were huge potholes. And people, to me, people are just like, they have a different vibe about roads. Like humans just walk out in the middle of the highway trying to sell somebody something, or just cross the street, or stand there.
Yes, next to the vehicle to try to sell you something.
I'm surprised we didn't see dead people everywhere, to be honest with you. But I guess they have it down, because we didn't see a lot of accidents, actually.
No, we didn't see, I didn't see any conflict between people for as many people who live here, work here, etc. But, you know, what I did see was a lot of perhaps entrepreneurship with all of the stalls, right? I mean, it was very crowded with stalls. And in looking at the stats for Nigeria, Nigeria has one of the largest GDP for West African countries. And so I was a little bit surprised to see that there was not a lot more investment in the infrastructure, like roads and, I don't know, trash cans, or, you know, things like that. So I was really surprised about that. But I will say that I saw a lot of entrepreneurship going on with their stalls. And, you know, I think I don't know if we hit a market in Lagos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did the art.
The art market, yeah.
Yeah, the art market was good. I like the availability of all of the art that was produced there that's sellable. But what I was worried, I had on flip-flops.
Oh, yeah.
And I was worried about stepping into the puddles, which are like, I didn't know how deep they'd go.
It was raining that day.
Yeah, it was raining
for a little bit.
day.
And also, again, to your point, those were little stalls with artists selling their work, as opposed to more development. I saw a Guinness building here. And we see there's banks and there's some major U.S. oil companies, but as far as local commerce, it seems more very small micro businesses.
Yes, very much micro businesses, but you know, it was teeming with people, and I think that was the fun part for me. And you know, we went to a museum the first day we were in Lagos, and one of the pictures that I took was this painting that spanned the entire wall. And when I look back at the picture, there's a lot going on in that painting, which also demonstrated, you know, things going on, lots of people everywhere, but the beautiful umbrellas, their interpretation of the markets and the umbrellas was really stunning. So I really did appreciate that.
And then we spent some time in Benin, which I think fewer people visit. I mean, Nigeria's got so many people. It's the largest, most populous African nation. Then we went to Benin, which only has 13 million. Very different vibe, French-speaking country, right next to each other. What stood out to you about the Benin experience?
And again, I looked at the stats on Benin. First of all, I didn't know of the country at all before coming on this trip. I mean, yeah, I knew before coming to Africa that there was Benin, but it was because I was joining this tour, right? And so when I got to Benin, it's smaller, it looked cleaner, it looked like there was infrastructure, there were curbs on the street, you know. I thought it was much cleaner. Of course, we went to an open market and still it's teeming with people. Obviously, it's not as big as Lagos. It's just not as many people. But then when we went to an art market, it was not crowded. It was clean. It felt fairly safe. So, you know, I like that about Benin. And again, the economy for Benin is so much smaller than what the GDP is for Nigeria. So I don't understand where the government or where the Benin country invests its money or how it does that to make it look like, at least superficially, it looks like it's got a lot of infrastructure. So I'm just wondering if there are parts of Benin that I didn't see that, they put the investment in on the parts that people would see.
Yeah, I think there's very low income parts from some of the interviews that I did, but there's a different governance. You've got such a smaller nation, and with Nigeria, you have had conflicts with government, turnovers and different regimes and stuff, different administrations, I should say. And so some better, some more corrupt. And so I think that may be what we're seeing. I'm speculating right now based on always, my job, which is to read the news. But I'm just interesting because most of our travelers don't say, well, I looked at the GDP. What do you do for a living, Marjorie?
I am an attorney for the state of Illinois. So I'm an attorney at the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. So I think it's just part of my nature now, secondhand for me to look at the countries that I'm going to and to see what the GDP is, because it gives you an idea of how big their economy is, how many people there are. And when you come into a country and you look at what their priorities are, it's manifested through their infrastructure, through the types of activities that they have. So I really look at that and I try to absorb as much of the culture as I can, through the food, through looking at how people make their living, how people live altogether. So I think it speaks volumes about where, Nigeria and Benin are at this time. But having said that, I found Benin to be very interesting because we met the Voodoo King there. And this was the birthplace of voodoo, right? And I thought it was also somewhat eerie that we met him at night, and it was...
Yeah, because we were delayed in getting there.
Yes. And so, I'm not saying that I completely believe in voodoo or voodoo, but I will say that it played into the stereotype of what the voodoo religion might be.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because this whole region, really Nigeria, Benin, and a lot of the West African countries have iterations of that voodoo tradition, just as Brazil has Candomblé, which of course that king, that voodoo king, pointed out to us.
Yes, he did.
So it started in West Africa and sort of spread out through the world in Cuba and in many places in the United States as well. So it was interesting for me. It was like an anthropological thing to see the tradition without the modifications that maybe you see, or as many of the modifications as you would see in Brazil or maybe Cuba or the United States.
Yes.
Do you remember when the lights went out?
Yes, I do.
That was me speaking about eerie.
Yes, that was really eerie. And when I did a recording, I did a few recordings during the time that we spent in that area with the Voodoo King. And one of my video recordings started out at regular speed, but then it suddenly switched to slow motion. I didn't do that, but somehow it did that, and that also made it eerie to me. Now, whether or not it happened before or after the lights went out, I can't say, but it felt like, the voodoo power or the spirits were definitely making themselves known.
Yeah.
A little eerie.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was cool.
The dancers were
cool.
in a trance. I mean, the ancestral figures were out. It was, I mean, there definitely, whether you believe it or you don't believe it, there was definitely power and belief in that room for sure.
It was amazing. I don't think I will ever meet that many people that would be able to tell the story that they met the Voodoo King and that they were welcome and, got to see the ceremony, the welcoming ceremony that they put on. And then the magic trick afterwards, so it's like a once in a lifetime. And I think that's an overused statement, but I think that I am so fortunate to have gotten to experience that. So,
and that king had some wisdom. I mean, he was dropping some pearls when we got to ask him questions.
I was really impressed with how he made such an effort to answer each and every question. So, you know, I was really impressed with that. Instead of getting lost in the question or someone asking the question but he doesn't get answered, he made a point to answer each and every question.
Yeah.
In fact, he wanted to stay longer.
Yeah, he would have had us there all night. We were tired.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else that, you know, that stands out? Anything else you'd share? So far?
I will say that I have the thing that was really interesting to me, and I think that coming on this trip to Africa with a tour group that is primarily African Americans was, you know, I think it could be intimidating for some people.
You're not African American.
No,
this is
I'm
radio
not.
that you can't see, Marjorie.
No, so I've got blonde hair and I'm an Asian American woman. So I will admit that I don't have any African American ancestry. Nonetheless, it's a great opportunity to learn about Africa, to learn about a place that I don't hear as much about or see. There's not as much information out there about Africa. And to actually experience some of the truly authentic experiences that I had during this trip was amazing. Now, it's not the most amazing thing to me is the group of people that I traveled with. I think a lot of people would have been intimidated who were not African Americans to travel with a large group of African Americans. And I don't have that intimidation.
Well, you're from Chicago.
I am from Chicago and I work for the state of Illinois, and that allows me to have friends who are African American, who are Latino, to the point where, you know, a lot of different cultures are intimidating when you are not of that culture. But through the friendship that I have with my employment and people that I work with, they have taught me a lot. But this trip has taught me even more. So, you know, I understand the whole issue about, you know, African Americans being removed from their country, but it's on a different level to travel with an African American group to see how it affects them to return back home to their homeland and to be inducted into a tribe and then to pay homage to the country, to the people, to let people know that, hey, I'm so happy to be here. And I will say that we've met a couple of kings, which is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, me too.
But, you know, each and every time the group has mentioned that they're coming back to learn more about it and to be in touch with their ancestors, and each and every king has welcomed them back into Africa. So I really love that about this trip. And, you know, I saw the induction ceremony that you guys had the first night, and it was just so much love and I think a sense of belonging that it creates for people who are trying to return back to their ancestors and to have that contact and maintain that connection.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love your observations. Only thing I would add is that in a sense, we all have connection to Africa if we're Homo sapiens sapiens, since this is where they found the first one.
Yes.
So somewhere in your DNA, something is probably tingling.
It was very cool to be here, and I just am so thankful that I had the opportunity to do this. I think it helps me understand on a deeper level the whole issue about, you know, slavery and reparations and, you know, the historical ancestral trauma that African Americans have suffered for more than 400, almost 500 years. So I really do appreciate that. And this is not something that I would have been able to experience just, you know, being in the US or being in Chicago. It was definitely something that I had to experience. Let me say that again. My experience was enhanced because I traveled with a team of people who were trying to make connections with their ancestors.
Well said. Marjorie, thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
And traveling with us, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Disney Dream cruise ship is back in Florida after a dramatic rescue at sea. A 5-year-old girl fell overboard and her father jumped in after her.
You could see all the staff running to the port side. They got their life jackets and rings, and everybody was looking in the water.
Crew members saved them both. Passengers say the emotional scene left them in tears. Disney praised the crew's quick action. Biracial former Representative Colin Allred is running for Senate in Texas again, challenging Republican John Cornyn. Allred, a former NFL player, launched his campaign with a video slamming Cornyn and Ken Paxton while highlighting his working-class roots and bipartisan record. And Chicago leaders are tackling DEI challenges for women-owned businesses. Blac Treasurer Melissa Conyers-Ervin and Alderwoman Nicole Lee urged accountability, collaboration, and self-investment to boost equity and inspire the next generation of women entrepreneurs. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
NBA free agency tipped off on Monday. The Lakers lost a key player. Forward Dorian Finney-Smith signed with Houston, 4 years at $53 million. The Clippers need to get younger in the offseason, but they signed a player who's 37 and another player who'll be 37 in December. Backup center Brook Lopez signed a 2-year deal with the Clippers for $18 million. Nicholas Batum re-signed with the Clippers for 2 years at $11.5 million. The WNBA is adding 3 new franchises, Detroit, Cleveland, and Philadelphia. The league will have 18 teams by 2030. Coco Gauff is back in action today for the first time since winning the French Open last month. The African-American star has a first-round match at Wimbledon against Diana Yastremska of Ukraine. Gauff is the number 2 seed at Wimbledon behind Arina Sabalenka of Belarus. Last year at Wimbledon, Gauff was eliminated in the round of 16. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships. More than any other school in Los Angeles, we are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Space is limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Mr. Charles Bracy, back in Africa once again. How are you feeling?
I feel great. This is my third time coming to Africa. Each time you learn something new. And the people here are always friendly and wonderful and beautiful. And it's good to see more people getting education now, technology now. And people think, oh, Africa, all they do is run around with spears and so forth. Well, it's not true. You have people that live out in the bush, out in the country, but you have a lot of people now that are getting their education. Because one day, I won't be here to see it, but Africa gonna be run the way it's supposed to be by the people that were born here, or the people whose great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents were taken to the United States. They're coming back home too. And this is what I call home. And for the people in the United States, if you can come just one time, you're gonna really get educated.
Now, you're in the entertainment business. You've spent your whole life in the entertainment business. And this is a whole nother side of you, right?
That's correct.
How do you marry those things? How do those things go together, Charles?
Besides being an actor, this is my 51st year Screen Actors Guild, I also was in construction. I helped build sets. And to look at the structures they have here, the high rises and the way they're building the streets and so forth, it's really amazing. And it reminds me, of some of the things that I used to do in the movie industry.
What's amazing about it?
To see some of the men and women doing the same thing that I used to do. And if I was a little younger, I might come over here and jump out there with them. Have a good time.
Everywhere we go, they're building something, though, right?
Yes. And that makes me feel proud because, like I said, most people have the concept that, Africa, all they do is run around with spears and you know, they're out there in the bush and so forth. But people, let me tell you, they're getting educated over here, and it makes me feel great.
Now, this is your third trip.
Correct.
And it's not just your third trip. You brought your family, or your
Correct.
family brought you. I'm not sure how that went. I'm pretty sure your wife brought you, not the other way around. Or was it the other way around?
Well, let me
brought each other.
Let me put it this way. My son-in-law is Ibukin Olale, and he married my daughter. And Ibukin Olale's people have a house here still and a service station here still. And I from Nigeria. And I asked him all the time about Nigeria. And I asked his mom about Nigeria, and his mom's an excellent cook. I was sick a few weeks back, so she sent some soup over to the house. And I told my daughter, I said, you tell Miss Olila that chicken soup was fine. My daughter said, no, that was goat. I said, boy, I'm going to have her cook me some goat again, because she really cooked that goat. And we were at a restaurant the other day, and I thought I was going to buy all the goat that was in there to eat. And these people over here, they know how to eat, they know how to dance, they know how to entertain you, and it's really surprising.
So far you've been with African Focus Incorporated. You've been to South Africa.
Correct.
Zimbabwe.
That's correct.
We went to Kenya.
Correct.
One of my favorite places in the world, Zanzibar.
Okay.
And then we've been to Nigeria and Benin.
Correct.
So far. We're going to go to Ghana. So what's your favorite of what you've experienced?
I could not come down with a favorite, because everywhere you go is something different. It's something different. I mean, we're all the same people, and each city you go to, there's something to learn. So I don't want to place one city against the other city. It's all educational.
Or one country against another
country.
Yes,
it's all beautiful.
Okay, let's play a game, Charles Bracy. You're good at games. He's always getting the crowd, our group tour, fired up. You always get them fired up, right?
Correct.
Yes. So here's the game. I'm going to say the name of a country, and you tell me one word or one sentence that comes to mind. Okay?
Correct.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. South Africa.
South Africa reminds you of Malibu. I mean, you have a lot of hills, a lot of beautiful homes on the hills, and a lot of wonderful beaches.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe was really beautiful too. The people were very, very, very friendly. You know, they come up to you, say hello, or hi, sir, and it's very educational.
Kenya.
Oh, man. I really loved Kenya. Kenya, the people were wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And, okay, the game continues. The game goes to Nigeria.
Well, Nigeria reminds me of when I lived in Brooklyn, New York as a kid. Nigeria, I have never seen as many of my people in such a place. I mean, I saw so many wonderful chocolate people in Nigeria that I've ever seen before. If you really want to see your African American race, you come to Nigeria. Man, Nigeria has so many brothers and sisters here, and they're beautiful.
And Zanzibar.
Zanzibar is very nice, very, very nice. And I'd love to, make my rounds again if possible.
And last but definitely not least, Benin.
Benin was very interesting. A lot of it was on the water, and they had motorboats, canoes, and you could float down like you're in Venice or something like that. And I watched the kids, and it looked like they were having a picnic. It was on a Sunday, and it reminded you of being down south. It reminded you of being down south where all the black folks got together after church and had a wonderful time.
Well, Mr. Bracy, to be continued. We're about to get on this bus. You have a last word to say?
Yes, I'd like to say hello to all my Fremontians, Fremont High School, Los Angeles, California. and all my people in Windsor Hills, Bowen Hill, Lamert. It's a beautiful experience, and KBLA all the way. That's what I gotta say.
I don't even have to close it out. KBLA 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Charles Bracy is like the OG of the African Focus Incorporated KBLA tours. He's always got a lot to say. He's definitely chronologically gifted, and he gets us fired up when no one else will do so. He's so passionate about the motherland. As you may remember, if you've been following on this tour every step of the way, we did meet with the Nigerian king, the Alake. They're in the Yoruba tradition, which is a relative, sort of an early foundational relative of the Vodun tradition. So maybe you'll see the parallels. What was really amazing to me, though, is that we just by coincidence met the daughter of the Alake, the king. And I had seen her walking around and thought, wow, she's an elegant woman. Well, we ended up meeting her, and I got a chance to sit down and really have an in-depth conversation with a woman I'll call a very modern princess. So that's coming up next. I want to remind you, though, tap in with us on social media. KBLA 1580 on all platforms. We're still streaming on YouTube, although it's audio. So if you want to see the visuals, I'm going to say go to KBLA 1580. Also, creep on over to my socials. I'm at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. Sometimes I go live. I'm posting pics. I'm doing a lot of stuff in the stories. Miles Low Music is obviously Miles, and he does a great job posting, and he has his own unique perspective. So make sure you tap in with us. Please like and follow and subscribe. And of course, get the app. That helps keep KBLA strong, keep us vibrant, and show that we're growing, because we really, really, really are growing. So next up, you'll hear from the Princess. We are still looking forward to setting foot in Ghana. That's our next country. And Ghana, of course, will be visiting the slave dungeons of Elmina and looking at the, following the footsteps of our ancestors there at one of the biggest slave ports in the entire coast. We'll also get a chance to go on resort, a little, I won't call it a safari, it's like a beach resort. I love the beaches of Africa. One thing I'll say is that they're very underrated, and I feel like for some reason we as Americans are the last to know. Every great beach I've been to in Africa, I've seen Asians from all different countries vacationing, people from all over Europe, Germans and French and Dutch. But for some reason, we're the last to know. Well, we're going to change that. Welcome to the motherland. Thanks for traveling with us. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and of course, you know, we're unapologetically African. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Disney Dream cruise ship is back in Florida after a dramatic rescue at sea. A 5-year-old girl fell overboard and her father jumped in after her.
You could see all the staff running to the port side. They got their life jackets and rings, and everybody was looking in the water.
Crew members saved them both. Passengers say the emotional scene left them in tears. Disney praised the crew's quick action. Biracial former Representative Colin